Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between Liquid Jinro versus Argos Xenix here on Narazine Crypt. We have Jinro spawning as the blue Terran player. Meanwhile, we have Argos Xenix spawning as the red Zerg. Zerg versus Terran, and this should be an interesting matchup. Argos Xenix, a good friend of mine out in Korea. I believe he's still in high school, so yeah, just going for a little bit of a pause, please. But because we are watching the replay, I think I lost. All right, so apparently Jinro and Argos, both of them do know each other, and we'll see how these players do. Jinro, one of the good foreigner players out there, part of Team Liquid, a team that needs no introduction. Argos Xenix, one of those players who has been frequently on my channel. He took a little bit of a hiatus for a while, but now that there are not that many games out there, or there's not that many tournaments, the season is almost coming to an end. I may be trying to find more Battle.net replays to figure out what's going on, and figuring out the state of the game as opposed to just high level tournament, finals plays. Anyways, Argos now coming in with this Overlord. We'll be able to scout out this location here and take a look around. He will not see the refinery, so he will have to kind of overcommit with that Overlord in order to be able to see if his opponent is currently getting gas. Drone now making his way out, as well as this one SCV has hugged the top corner in order to see what it can see. You can see that there is a hatchery being built by Argos, and a rather wide ramp here, but there are destructible rocks here that even make it even wider, so you kind of have to be careful. SCV is now going to be coming back around, going to be able to catch sight of this one drone here. The drone going to catch sight over here, and perhaps move along his merry way and figure out what the long-term strategy will be. The Overlord will be able to come into this position in just a moment. He still doesn't see the gas, but he may try to just gain sight of the orbital command and then pull back. Is he going to pull back? Yes, he will. And Argos is just going to hug along this back corner and perhaps gain sight over here. Hatchery more than 2/3 of the way completed, as this SCV scouting in the wrong direction still. And now a Marine gonna walk up the ramp, activate a Zelnaga tower, only to see a drone slip by. That's something you never want to see. But in comes a second Marine, gonna be able to catch a factory being built on the ramp. Was he able to catch it? Yes, he was able to catch it. And now just building an extractor here, not really denying his opponent any gas, so to say, but just being a little bit of a nuisance and annoyance, as those Marines are not going to be able to put down any pressure at the natural expansion, as the Marines are just going to be sitting over here firing away. There it goes once again, getting canceled and rebuilt. The SCV was able to take a look around. No gas yet for Argos, as a queen or double queens are now being trained. So we are going to have a very strong economy coming in from Argos. That's one of the things that you need to look out for if your opponent is going for very, very fast, going for no gas this early on in the game. You know he's not going to have metabolic boost. So all he's really going to have is queens and spine crawlers in order to deal with any harassment that you're able to execute. I believe we should be seeing an evolution chamber or more queens coming in. Otherwise, Banshee harassment, which is a definite possibility, could deal a large amount of damage. Jinro, going with a rather weird 1-1-1 build, doesn't have an add-on yet. So this may not be any Banshee play, as SCVs are now trying to come in, and Hellion's going to be able to take down one of those. A Queen now tries to come in as well, getting in some easy damage. The Spine Crawler about to be completed. The Spine Crawler now completed, and very important, as a Spine Crawler doesn't look like it has a lot of hit points left, but with 2 armor, really reduces the amount of damage that those Marines do. So the Marines only going to be able to do 4 damage in attack, absorbing some damage on a Queen in order to keep that Spine Crawler up, and that Spine Crawler will just be able to regenerate even more hit points. Zerg now running up the ramp, and taking a look at a really strange build from Jinro. Jinro is opening up with the Marines, Hellions, and Medevac. So this is a rather strange 1-1-1 build. He is finally going into his second gas right now at the 6-minute mark, but really it's all being used for those Medevacs right now in order to be able to elevator and perhaps some sort of strange variation on the cover fire drop. Yes, now cover fire drop coming in. The Spine Crawler is out of position. It may get shot down. The Marines, are they going to pick up? Oh, doing a second round of pickup. SCV is on auto repair, so a nice heal for the medevac as the Queen now trying to go and battle it out. Zerglings now trying to come in and surround, being caught off of creep. Down goes one Queen. Creeps are now being spread across as well. Hellions may get picked up. Yes, very nicely done, but all down goes the medevac. And Argos with non-speed boosted Lings plus some Queens able to fight off that attack there. Natural base defense in those Queens, so effective as Argos now transitioning, or Argos sees Jinro transitioning into more barracks play, and we now see a stim pack being researched as well. So this is all still one base play by Jinro. Harvester count 28 compared to 32 right now. There is 2 mules in play. Jinro does have his second orbital command up, but it is currently not mining anything as Zerglings quickly clear out those spine crawlers there, and now another Queen being added. You can see we're going to have 4 Queens in just a moment. Zerglings without that metabolic boost now getting the 4 extractors down all at the same time, as the orbital command will be able to start mining in just a moment. Hellion able to torch back that Zergling, and we are now transitioning into the middle game. Now, what Argos needs to do is Argos needs to perhaps try to establish this hatchery over here, or he can try to put down a little bit of pressure while he still has at least a mineral advantage, even though he doesn't have that much of a gas advantage right now. Gas advantage overall since he was behind. Spine crawlers are once again rerouting themselves in position here. Overlords hiding in plain sight, gonna get shot down by a Viking or 2, and that's always very painful when you lose 2 overlords to 1 Viking just doing a bit of patrolling. But it looks like the Viking will not spot this overlord hiding off over here. Jinro does have a bunch of supply depots now on his front door, making sure that no run-by is possible. Spine crawlers, Baneling's Nest now being added as well. We'll see how this is all going to work out. Spine crawlers, double evolution chambers, level 1 weapons upgrade, and armor upgrades to battle against those siege tanks, as those siege tanks will be able to start one-shotting those units. A Queen caught on creep, but didn't retreat in time, as the siege tanks able to clean up 5 or 6 creep tumors. That was huge, as now Jinro going to start continuing with this pressure once more. Zerglings doing a very roundabout run. Perhaps they will be able to sneak by here if he is lucky. The spine crawlers are separating themselves just a little bit more, as we are now going to get some Banelings hatched. 10 Banelings being hatched as well. The Marines could easily take down these creep tumors, not quite sure why. As we now see, oh, in comes a bunker. The bunker does have some Marines, and there you go. The Zerglings unable to really engage, but perhaps going to have a Marine tank sandwich. Creep tumors, or sorry, the Zelnaga Tower does reveal a very large room, a large army composition here. Spine crawlers able to push back all of those Marines even further, and now the siege tanks looking to retreat and try not to lose any ground or lose any of those units, and then just pull back just a little bit further. So Jinro doing a good job applying a lot of pressure to Argos right now, and Jinro with a slight food advantage, 8 food, as Argos has not really been able to establish another expansion. And as I say that, he is looking to establish that now. He still has Jinro has a 10 food advantage, as the Marines are going to be able to clean up a Zergling once more, and 4 Marines are going to hold that tower. Excuse me as I yawn. I'm human. I yawn. Now, we'll see what the overall strategy is going to be and what Argos is going to transition into. He is at tier 2. He is getting the pneumatized carapace, so those overlords will be able to move a little bit more quickly. As the Queen now finally off of creep, able to run away. Another scanner sweep very far away, revealing many creep tumors. And this is exactly what Jinro... Oh, Banelings sacrificing themselves. 2 Banelings for 3 Marines. Not that good of a trade, but it still kept the creep tumors in play, and I think that's really what Argos wanted. He wanted to keep map control, as Banelings move very fast on creep, and perhaps we are going to get a little bit of a roundabout flank coming in from these Zerglings. You can see Zerglings now chasing after those Marines. Marines being very smart to run off of creep and then continuing to run back. More Marines getting destroyed here. Nice defense as the Zerglings overexpose themselves just a little bit. And now the Banelings and Zerglings still hiding here, and we'll see what's going to happen or what's going to become of that. We are also getting the Ventral Sack, so we could have some Baneling carpet bombing in a moment. As the Zerglings are trying to get in position, there is a new command center off over here being established, and now this one hatchery has been finished. The Marines do not want to try to push that there, as the Banelings are going to be perhaps be able to sacrifice themselves and bust into the main group of Marines here, raising up the supply depot. Not much is going to happen, as the Zerglings now going after the Marines, and now perhaps going after some SCVs as well. Jinro was not ready, and wow, Zerglings... Oh, scanner sweep. The Baneling's going to get canceled. One going to get destroyed. Another going to get destroyed. I do not believe you can do anything. Oh, the Zerglings may unburrow. There is a siege tank right there, ripe for the picking. The missile turret about to be completed. What is Argos waiting for? The missile turret to detect them? I'm not sure. And it looks like these Zerglings are just going to be able to sit here for a little while longer, as the SCVs do spot them, and Jinro has to notice that there is a bunch of red inside his base right now, as the siege tanks are now starting to continue that push up even further. Overlord over here doesn't have very much. Overlord's now backing off. The Zerglings getting all killed by Marines. Could have perhaps taken down and disrupted the mining just a little bit more, as we are now seeing even more reactors being added. So Jinro running off of a lot of production buildings. Yeah, 4 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport. Siege tanks continuing to shell away from the high ground, or from the low ground. Very effective strategy, allowing him to be able to not worry about Zerglings, as those Zerglings would not be able to run into the position at all. Marines now pushing in, and how is this going to work? The Nidus Network going to try to get sniped down. Banelings, oh, picked. Banelings completely ignored, but what is this? A very large drop coming in from the far side here, and it may drop straight into the base. Missile turrets are in position, but this may be too little, too late. Are those Zerglings going to start dropping? Some Zerglings were dropped. 5 Zerglings taken down. Nidus Worm now coming in, as the Zerglings are just continuing to swarm around this location. The Nidus Worm still has 20 seconds to go. It looks like the SCVs are going to come off the mineral line to fight this off, and those SCVs will be the hero, being able to take down that Nidus Worm before it was able to break through that earth. Marines now still pushing in. Nidus Worm now taken down. Baneling's Nest may get taken down as well, but it looks like it's going to be a different type of drop this time, as the Overlords may just be able to drop straight in onto this group here. What's going to be happening? Zergling's going to start dropping from the sky. There you go. And now more and more Marines just going to get destroyed there. Banelings don't even need to detonate, as a planetary fortress is about to be upgraded, but it looks like the Zerglings are going to cause a cancellation there, as the Marines are continuing to back off even further. Baneling getting some damage, but not really enough, as Argos denying that all-important 3rd base, as Argos is now setting up his 4th as well. You now see 43 SCVs compared to 62 drones, a lot of Baneling cocoons. 45 Baneling cocoons. Those Banelings will be on a roll, be able to roll over and deal massive damage to anything it runs into. This front door has been reestablished, but these sets of rocks could easily get destroyed as well. Banelings now rolling away. You can see a large number of Marines trying to re-push here, but Jinro may get flanked if he's not careful. There is 1 siege tank up on the high ground here. It will be able to soften up many of those Banelings before it finds their targets, but the Marines are still pushing into this position and doing a great job, as it looks like the main swarm of Argos now going to try to push in on the front door once more. Is it going to be in time is the question. The siege tank, does it spot it? Yes, it does start to spot this now. Banelings now rolling in. There is 1 siege tank going to get in a lot of damage here. Supply depot is now busted. Banelings going to go after the siege tank here, and now so many Banelings running through. Marines are also pushing in as well. Banelings finding their target, but the Banelings are going after perhaps another orbital command. More SCVs going to get destroyed. More Marines. The Marines going to get splattered here in just a moment. There you go, as Jinro was just not ready for that many Banelings to roll up inside his base. Marines are dropping down over here as well, so Jinro is dealing a little bit of damage back. But we'll see who's going to come out ahead, as the Zerglings going after SCVs. Jinro is down to 1 base, 0 bases mining with 19 SCVs. Zerglings now getting ready over to party here. Jinro going to try to unload his Marines, only to see a Queen Zerglings finish off the medevac, and there it goes. Jinro now with only a couple siege tanks in the center of the map. It looks like we are going to have another round of dropped units. No round of drop units. Jinro executing this attack almost perfectly. How will Argos be able to drop on top of any of these, as those Marines are going to be focusing down those overlords? SCVs once again being able to mine away back over here. It looks like there are 2 Zerglings in the brush. Siege tanks continuing this push even further. Level 3 upgrades now coming in, but it looks like the evolution chamber will not be able to finish those upgrades at all, as the siege tanks continue to shell away at this swarm of units. Marines trying to finish it off. In comes some more overlords dropping in units once again. Siege tanks causing a lot of splash damage. Banelings detonating straight up on siege tanks even further, and Jinro just doing a good job with a much larger army, and Jinro really needs to push with his army advantage. As the longer the game goes, the better it will be for Argos Xenix, as he does have those 4 bases. Marines continuing to just fight back the swarm, but there are too many Zerglings, I believe. 1 siege tank is left. The siege tank unable to really attack as they got within that 0 fire radius. Medivacs, 4 Medivacs trying to help fight back against the rest of those Zerglings, but the Zerglings able to claw and eat their way through. And there is the GG. 2-2 upgraded Zerglings, really able to deal a lot of damage, as those Marines were only upgraded 1-1. So the Zerglings were, I believe, dealing 6 damage per attack. Yeah, 6 damage per attack against the Marines, 5 damage per attack. So those Zerglings really just able to eat through those. Zerglings able to eat through those Marines rather easily, rather quickly. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this game here in Nerzium Crypts.